Hello everyone, this is Mr. Speak, and I'm going to be doing a little vid for good animes for newcomers. Now, these are not necessarily, all of them are not necessarily on my top on my list. These are just recommendations because, either they're short and easy to get into, or B, they're, anime that are good representations of the genres that are out there for anime. Not necessarily that they're top of my list. I'm not going to put a complete crap on here simultaneously. I'm not going to put my best. All of them not going to be my best because some of my best are very long and are more difficult to get into. First off is Fooly Cooly, or FLCL, as you'll see on the screen. The reason I put that one on there, it's really hard to describe exactly what it is. It's a blend of many different genres and insanity and mind screwiness, to put it mildly. It's only 6 episodes, so it's very easy to get into. I recommend it to a lot of people. The animation is great. They really went all out for this one. It's sad they didn't make any more episodes. However, they were only planning on 6, mainly because they were just doing this to test out the new animation. And, even though people like them to continue, unfortunately they won't. Next on here is Fullmetal Alchemist, and I'm going to put both Brotherhood and the first anime here as, the second one. Just because they're both good animes. First anime is more drama oriented, however, it's not without its own moments. Brotherhood is more action oriented. Both have their great moments. Both are good in my opinion. Now, before people say, hey, this is kind of a longer one, it's not longer compared to the ones that are out there. The first anime is only 52 episodes. Brotherhood is only 64, which are relatively short in comparison to some other ones. Still not that difficult to get into or watch. I mean, yeah, if you don't, I recommend, if you're not sure, watch the first episode or two. You'll get a pretty good understanding about what's going to go down in that anime initially. But then that's going to just start changing. A lot of different things are going to start happening, and that goes for both of them. So this is a good representation of the sci-fi fantasy genre of anime. This is why it made the list. It was the best one I could figure out there. So that's why it's here. In any case, next one is Angel Beats. It's a mix of comedy and drama. It's a good blend of both. It takes place in the afterlife. Let's just put it at that. It's a school in the afterlife. It's not necessarily school life genre. It incorporates many different things. This is one of the best ones that have made that list, and Fullmetal Alchemist is too. I just didn't mention it. Sorry, but yeah, it's only 13 episodes, very short. So I'm putting it out there. You can definitely watch it. First 2 episodes will give you all you need to know about the series. First 2. Okay, next one is Buso Ranking. This one's not on my list, but it's still a good representation of the shonen anime genre. It's only 26 episodes, so it's not that difficult to get into. They should have done a little bit more, and it would have made it better, but they did not. The guy got canceled for whatever reason, so he just made up a quick makeshift ending. So if you don't like it, that's the reason why. Still, it's not. It's not terrible. It is good. It has its moments. So that's why it's on here. Good representation of the shonen anime genre. 26 episodes. Enough said. In any case, next one is Toradora. It's a mix of it's a romantic comedy. Best romantic comedy that I've seen to date. I know I haven't seen all of them, and you people might have something to argue with me on that point, but it is one of the best that I've seen to date, in my opinion. I haven't seen all of them out there, but this is the best one I can say that is out there. It's only 26 episodes, if I'm not mistaken, possibly 24. I could be wrong on that number, but this one, give it, hell, I think only the first episode is necessary to make this one known. Next one is Baka Test to Shokanju. Again, this is another one. You only need to watch the first episode. Good comedy anime, one of the best that I've seen. One of my favorite comedy animes, just straight comedy. There are some romantic elements present throughout the entire story, but not necessarily enough that I would call it romantic comedy. So it's strictly comedy in my book. Let's just leave it at that. 13 episodes per season plus a few OVAs. There's only 2 seasons out right now. It could be more. It's still up in the air at this time, but yeah, it's still very good to watch. This one, another one, again, first episode should tell you all you need to know about the series, and that's all I have to say on that. Azumanga Daioh. This is an older anime. It's a slight. I'm putting under here a slice of life. It is a comedy. I know people are going to say that it's a comedy. I know that, but I'm listing it under slice of life. Slice of life, for people who don't know, is where the characters really don't undergo that much development throughout the entire story. Maybe even through all that happens, they don't really change that much. Let's just leave it at that. It's only 26, 24 episodes, around that area, so it's not that long. It's fairly enjoyable, still one of the better ones that I've seen in the slice of life genre. So I'd recommend it to a lot of people. They should have done a bit more, but it's definitely one of those comedies. It might feel a little bland to most, so I'll guess I'll warn you on that one. Otherwise, fairly enjoyable. Next one, Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica. Now, this was a recommendation. I have not seen the entire series. I've only seen part of it. However, it has been rated one of the best animes of this year, if not of all time. So that should say a little bit something. It's only being 12 episodes, to get that kind of praise is something. I am going to have to sit down and watch it at some time. It's a magical girl anime, but let's just put it at this. It's a deconstruction of the magical girl anime. If you've ever seen Sailor Moon, or if you know what Sailor Moon is about, it's not, anywhere as cheery as that world is. Anyway, let's just leave it at that. Good Maho Shoujo magical girl anime, sorry. So, but it's a deconstruction of it. It's very dark. I don't know if I would list it under as horror as well, but it can definitely have moments that feel like that. So, yeah, that's up for you to decide. In any case, next one is Genkotsuo. This is one of a more historical piece, except it's not historical in the sense that it's more of Count of Monte Cristo recycled for space. But in spite of that title, it's not, it's very enjoyable to watch. I'm not a big fan of it just because there are certain... I'm just not a fan of Count of Monte Cristo, but if you like Count of Monte Cristo, or if you're looking for one of those historical ones that have been redone anime form, this is a good representation. The visuals, however, are great. They're to die for. Literally, you have to see it to know what I'm talking about. Beautiful. In any case, I'll just leave it at that. Next one is Black Rock Shooter. Now, this one only exists as an OVA at the time. However, I think may or may not, depending on how the anime comes out, the OVA is a good representation of what's going to be inside the anime. Can be a bit confusing. This one falls under a bit of dark magical girl somewhat, and action. However, it's not all about the I don't want to say it doesn't really. I was leery at giving it that title just because it doesn't necessarily fall under it. That kind of stuff is present in the story, but it's not all about that. It can be a bit confusing. I don't want to say it's mystery either, but it kind of strikes you as that because it's mysterious. What else can I say? And last recommendation is anything by Studio Ghibli. Studio Ghibli films. Your average movie length is about an hour and 30 minutes. I'm not saying that's going to be the time for a Studio Ghibli film. I'm just saying if you've got that kind of time on your hands, if you want to see what Studio Ghibli is about, just take some of that time, at least give it maybe a maximum of 3 hours, and then sit down and watch one of these films. All of them are great in my opinion. A lot of people would say the same. Yeah, it's hard to compete. Yeah, that's how I'm going to end it here as far as newcomer animes. As far as, still animes that are still going, pretty much all of them with the exception of like one or two only are, done with. I mean, and the one or two that I'm mentioning is like Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood as a movie that's coming out. Bakuto Test may continue going with like OVAs or another season, but that's still up in the air. So I posted a link to ones that have debuted this year and they should be relatively short or are still going at this time, and others that will be continuing in the next year or been relatively short. I think I just repeated myself, but ones that are relatively short and are still, or ones that are still going, so they should be easier to get into. They shouldn't be that long since they debuted this year or are continuing this year. One notable one that I will mention is Mirai Nikki. It debuted October 10th, so it is a very good one. It falls under the horror genre as well as somewhat of a twisted romance. And it's not homosexual, if that's what you think I meant. But at the same time, there's a bit of twisted love in here, and that's present from the first episode on. It was one great manga. I thought it was going to be, a somewhat standard anime, but so far so good. It's looking great. I'd recommend it. It's only one episode right now, so you can, watch it really good, really fast, and it comes out on Mondays. That's the only one I recommend off of this list that I haven't already mentioned, or not to say that the other ones are crappy or anything. I haven't seen the rest of them on the list. I can't vouch for them. That's all I'm saying. Mean by that statement. In any case, I'm gonna cut it off here. If you're complaining that certain anime and manga deserve to make this list, I didn't put really long ones such as Bleach or Naruto or One Piece just because those are really, really long, and they may be really difficult to get into without. Those are stories that you probably need to know a bit about how the story started and some of the stuff that happened in the beginning or the middle or somewhere, and that'd be a lot of watching. I mean, I know Bleach is above 330 episodes, so watching Bleach from episode 1 is, is going to take a lot of time just to catch up. And for the people who have that kind of time, Bleach is a good anime, but I'm just saying that's a lot of watching you're gonna have to doing, and I wouldn't recommend anime that is hard to get into when you're kind of caught in the middle or towards the end, because you're kind of always gonna have questions about, why is this that, why is this character like this, and etc. Why is this happening, stuff like that. So yeah, in order to avoid those questions, I try to suggest ones that are somewhat short in length. Fullmetal Alchemist and Brotherhood were relatively somewhat longer than the other ones on the list, but in comparison they're not that long, and it's still a great anime. That's why I put it on the list in the beginning, other than being a representation of the sci-fi fantasy genre of anime, in my opinion. Anyway, I'm gonna cut it off here. Tell me how you like the video. For those who have already seen anime or know anime, and you want to put a recommendation here, by all means go ahead and do so. I can't stop you. Well, I could stop you, but I won't. But just put other recommendations. I haven't seen all the anime out there. If you think that that you got some other ones that would be good to start people off on that are new to anime, then put them below. Tell me how you like this video. Tell me if you got any other topics you want me to do. I'll gladly put up a video to try to accommodate your needs. As far as why I don't appear on the screen, I know that question has been asked, is just because I'm having issues with my camera. Initially, I was sort of camera shy, which is why I didn't want to get into the whole video thing, but I wanted to still do videos, but my camera is kind of on the fritz right now. I don't know if it has to deal with the camera or it has to deal with my computer, but right now the mic is working well. The camera shows picture, but it's like that really bad quality picture that you can barely make out things, and it's like the frame rate is very low and stuff of that nature. So that's why I haven't appeared on screen, and I've had like these pictures, which I know some of you don't find that too interesting. Sorry. I'll try to find something to keep your attention that's not a bit too distracting, such as like I did games on here before. So yeah, I'll try to find something. If not, I'll try to troubleshoot my camera. If anybody knows of a cheap, good quality webcam out there that I can easily acquire, then put that below. Let me know so I can get it, and then I can appear on screen. If it's going to be a higher, more expensive camera, then it'll have to wait. I don't have that much money to be spending on that kind of stuff at this time. I may at a later date, but I have to save up for it, etc., etc. It's not a viable option at this time. It's going to take some time to get that done. And in case, I'm going to end the video right here. This has been Mr. Speak, signing off.